Hello all. And, about a year ago, I made a video saying, this is why we are fans. And it was about the Nexus. And Next Angle started off really good. And then, of course, Daniel Bryan got fired. And then other things happened. And by the time we got to probably after Survivor Series, the Angle was pretty much dead, unfortunately. It was this new hot thing, everyone was kind of talking about it, it looked promising, this, that, and the other. So, when this whole CM Punk thing started, and then they added the whole stipulation about him being fired, I was not impressed. I was like, they were getting the same stupid shit the WWE always does. And then, this past Monday on Raw, CM Punk came out and did what few guys have been able to do in the past 5 years. That is single-handedly save a show. Particularly a horrible, god-awful show that Raw was. And, I'm sure people will come on here and they'll start talking ratings and all sorts of other bullshit. But it wasn't the CM Punk segments that caused that show to bomb on the ratings. It was everything else. So, just keep that in mind, please. Okay. So a lot of people were talking about this pay-per-view. It seemed as we got closer and closer and closer to the pay-per-view, it got more and more build. People were getting more and more excited about it. This, that, and the other. I know of people that I know that have not ordered any pay-per-view. UFC, WWE, TNA, even ROHI pay-per-view. In a long time that ordered this pay-per-view. I know people who actually streamed this pay-per-view. That after they wound up streaming the pay-per-view, immediately were like, I'm buying the replay tomorrow because, yeah, WWE, deserves my money. I would agree. This show was amazing. And let me repeat that. Amazing. This was not a great show. This was not a good show. This was an amazing show. I guess I should say good or great. This was an amazing show. It's very seldom that we see WWE put on a show like this. And Nightmare Baller put it I was on Skype with him, and he put it very, very eloquently. Almost. He said it was almost like Vince, who has admitted he doesn't watch TNA. Someone told him, TNA's getting some... the last weekend they got a lot of buzz about them, and he kind of just said, well, fuck that, we're going to squash that right here and now. Yeah. This was an amazing show. I'm going to keep saying that. Hopefully when Instant Classic puts up his actual review and not the thing that he has already put up, he actually talks about the fact of because he went to a bar. I think he said he went to the Hooters and saw it. And he was talking about the fact that the place was packed by the time the main event came. That people were going crazy for the main event. And that people were, it was just mind-blowing to him. It's pretty amazing. I was there when the whole Austin stuff started. Wasn't quite like this. People were excited, not like this. I remember when the NWO started, and it was kind of like this, and people were excited and talking about it and doing this and that. Now, will this be that successful? I don't know. I doubt that. But this was pretty fucking awesome. Pay-per-view itself started off really, really good. We got the SmackDown Money in the Bank, which was really good, was probably the cleaner, I guess, the safer of the two Money in the Bank matches. They went out there, had a really good match. A great match, really. I liked this match better than the Raw match, and I'll explain that why. But I do think both of them had their merits. I thought this was probably the safer match. I thought this was probably kind of the better match as far as everything looked safe, and the stuff that was kind of there to wow wasn't that dangerous. It had some drama to it, but not a lot of drama. This was a very, very, very smart crowd. I mean, Daniel Bryan went up the very first time. He went up, or he went up kind of early for the briefcase, and you got a very loud Daniel Bryan chant. You were getting CM Punk chants during the entire show. This crowd was awesome, awesome, awesome. This crowd was so awesome. I wish we could have just muted the awful commentary and just listened to the crowd, because the crowd was amazing during this whole show. But we got some really cool spots. Justin Gabriel did a 450 in about an area of about like this big. That was amazing. We got numerous like dives, some cool ladder spots I don't think we had seen before. It's just a really great match. I mean, it got time. It's about 30 minutes, which I think that's what you need for Money in the Bank. There's probably still too many guys in there, because you did a lot of the guys get sprawled out, guys are on the floor for a while. Spots. They got rid of Sin Cara kind of quick as we had Sheamus. Yeah, Sheamus gave him a power bomb onto a chair, which was just sick. Just all sorts of just crazy stuff that was safe, was somewhat safe, but still very crazy. Daniel Bryan won, which was amazing. The crowd went apeshit when he won, which was pretty surprising, and it came off really well. He sold it like he just literally won $1 million. It was a pretty awesome moment, and yes, and for us that don't matter, and for the 10%ers, Eric Bischoff, who, by the way, just so Eric Bischoff knows, if the entire 10%ers bought this pay-per-view, guess what? This pay-per-view did about, what? That'd be about 35,000, yeah, 350,000 buys, which would be an amazing. I don't think it probably did that many, but it probably did maybe half of that. Which if it did half that would be really good. But I think it might have even done more than that. I really do. But yeah, it was for us, and we all went crazy, and it was really good and came off very well, and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah. Then we got the crap of the show. We got Kelly versus Brie Bella. This was god awful. Just god awful. They missed all sorts of spots. Just god. Then we got Mark Henry versus Big Show, which was okay. I mean, it was a big man's match. They did a bunch of big man stuff. They did a lot of power moves. They power slammed each other. They actually looked like they were actually going out there to try to do the best match they could. They probably did. This is probably the best match you could have got out of both of them. It was short. It was okay. I was fine with it. Then we got the Raw Money in the Bank match. And this was crazy. And not in necessarily a good way. But it did add a lot of drama. I will say this. This is probably the most drama-filled Money in the Bank match I can remember in a long time. As there was lots of just... It wasn't like they were trying to do stuff that wasn't safe. It was just that there was just lots of like crazy stuff going on. The ladder's not staying upright, whatever. And it just added a lot of drama to the match because you were just like, oh my god, these guys are going to kill each other. Was very good. They did a lot of interesting things. One was when they had all the ladders set up and all the guys were basically like at the top of the ladder. It looked like a King of the Mountain type or a King of the Hill type. You know, they're all trying to get the briefcase, which was pretty cool. During the match, Miz took a nasty spill. It looked like he legitimately fucked up his leg. They dragged him in the back. He eventually came out later to a very large pop. He was hopping all the way to went up the ladder to get basically, what was he? He was power bombed by I think he was power bombed. I think he was power bombed by Rey Mysterio, which the crowd did not like. The crowd started booing Rey. There was lots of, like I said, just crazy spots and not safe stuff, but it did add a lot of drama to the match. So and the match was great. Del Rio won this. To which the crowd went kind of crazy. I think most people thought Del Rio was going to win. So you had the surprise winner in the first one, which definitely, and then you had the kind of the guy that everybody knew was going to win in this one, which was, pretty good. And, yeah, just really great stuff. Riley was over. Just about everybody seemed to be over in this match. People really just just went crazy for it. Evan Bourne did a freaking insane shooting star press. It was just like, let's one-up each other, and it just got crazy. It just did. It got crazy. The finish was really awesome, I thought, with Ray getting demasked and trying to cover up his face and not doing a very good job of it. But that was interesting, which caused another whole botch of ladders falling that weren't supposed to fall. But it was interesting. But it was real. I thought it was great. As I said, I thought all of the botches and all of the wackiness actually added some drama to the match. So there we go. Then we had Christian versus Randy Orton. I was loving this match. I really was. I was like into this match. Of course, the stipulation is that if Randy Orton got disqualified, or if the ref screwed Christian, Christian would win the title. And so they went through this really great match, countering each other's moves, and finally Christian spit into Randy Orton's face. Randy Orton went crazy, ended up getting DQ'd, which the fans went kind of crazy for. The fans, when Randy Orton came out, they kind of booed him, and then when Christian won, they all went crazy, because even though it was a shit finish, they loved it because Christian won. And then after the match, Randy Orton went kind of crazy on Christian, tried to do an RKO through a table, didn't work, actually went back, tried to do it again, didn't work. The crowd was absolutely loving this because Randy Orton was going crazy. He looked like a legit mental case, which, and in a way, this got Randy Orton over a lot, to be honest. This did a lot to get, I think, Randy Orton over. I think that he is now back probably where he could have been if he had not, 2 years ago? 2 years ago when he lost that match to Triple H at WrestleMania. So yeah, but this was something. I mean, even with the shit finish, I thought this was really, really good. And I even think with that, with the way that it wound up playing with the aftermath, after the match stuff, which turned out to be really good stuff and really entertaining and did its part. And it didn't feel like you were gypped out of a match. It felt like Randy Orton got cheated, then went crazy, and it wasn't like a bad crazy like sometimes we see. Like, Mark Henry went crazy off the Big Show after he beat Big Show, and that came off as just like, whatever. But this came off like it really meant something. It felt cool. Made Randy Orton seem like a legit badass, which they've been trying to get Randy Orton over as. Just came off really well. Then we got the main event. Okay. I've said this before. Probably about 4 times a year, I pull out One Night Stand 2, and I watch that main event. Rob Van Dam versus John Cena. And I have said this, I became a John Cena fan because of that match. I don't think a lot of the top-tier guys at the time in WWE would have walked in to that environment. I don't think they would have handled themselves the way John Cena did. And I just thought that John Cena just came off like $1 million in that match. Just the way he acted, the fact that he handled it perfectly, which is awesome. And I always felt like we'd never see another match like that. And I've told the guys on Skype before that probably last summer, maybe late last summer, that I really thought that WWE should think about doing CM Punk and John Cena at WrestleMania. Not just because we were going, but because I really thought that even though I didn't think it would be like the main event, I thought it would come off really well. And I thought that, you would get that dynamic of, the smart fans cheering for CM Punk, and then, the more casual fans doing for John Cena, and it would just come off awesome. And I thought that would be the only place you'd be able to do it. The stars aligned, and we were able to see it here. This was like Rob Van Dam and John Cena at Hammerstein Ballroom in front of, about 2,500 people, maybe? I think is what the attendance was, I think. This had probably 10 times that, and was just as loud, and just as crazy, and we got just the exact same amount of chants, I think the only thing we didn't get was the same old shit chant. But we did get You Can't Wrestle very loudly. We got when they went to this video package, they came out. They showed this sea of people, and they were just chanting CM Punk. And CM Punk came out with this awesome new shirt that apparently was only sold at this freaking event, and hopefully, God, the WWE sells it on, because that shirt was awesome. I'm just going to say it. That shirt was fucking awesome. Comes out. They let him basically prance to the crowd for about 5 minutes. Colt Cabana was at ringside with Ace Steel, and which, bring that up in a little bit. He danced around. The fans were just chanting CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Then John Cena came out and was fucking booed out of the building. Came in, basically did the exact same thing he did at One Night Stand. Didn't pay attention to the crowd too much. Just basically was like, "I'm here to work. Let's go." And then they went off and they had their match. Now, this was not the cleanest match in the world, I will admit. It had some sloppy moments, but I think a lot of the sloppy moments came off as both guys being tired, and I mean this as far as in the match, not just saying, oh, both guys were tired, so it came off sloppy. No. I mean, in the match, it came off as, both guys were tired, both guys were trying to pull out every match possible, and so they would try something, and maybe it wouldn't come off clean. It came off more as a real match. I do think it added a little bit to it, but there were some sloppy stuff in the match, without question. But there was so much drama in this match. The announcing sucked ass. Throughout the night, the announcing sucked, but when you got to this match, it was like, can we get Joey? I mean, you knew Joey Styles was there, so can we at least get him the fuck out here to call this fucking match? If JR's not going to be here, at least get him out here to call this goddamn match. Because I cannot imagine how much better this match would have been if you would have had somebody out there to actually call this match and do it well. They went out, went move for move, played to the crowd. There was a "You Can't Wrestle" chant. CM Punk kind of played up to that. There was a point where CM Punk gave Colt Cabana a high five, and the announcer was like, "Oh, he gave that fan a high five." Meanwhile, the crowd is chanting very loudly, "Colt Cabana," which was kind of funny. Did some more stuff. It was pretty slow up to about about 9:30, and then my time, or the bottom of the hour, and then it picked up. They started trading more holds. One of the really, really cool spots was Cena had CM Punk in the STF, and then Punk countered it into the Anaconda Vice, which was really cool. There was just this match just had so much drama, because you honestly, not just because you didn't know what was going to happen, but because it was like, there's two outcomes. The match felt important. I mean, this match was as good because of the drama that was part of it as both. I would put it up there with both HBK Undertaker matches and Triple H Undertaker. Why? Because the only thing that mattered for shit in the WWE for probably the last 5 years was the Undertaker streak. And they made this title, they made the WWE title actually mean something. And since it meant something, they were able to turn it into, it felt like it meant something. The end of this match felt like whoever won, it was going to mean something. It was either going to be, you fucked it up because you didn't let CM Punk at least beat Cena, and then have, Money Mint guy come out and win the match. Or you were going to have CM Punk walk out, which everyone was like, there's no way the WWE's going to do that. But I think that everyone wanted it to happen, and I think that's why everyone was so intrigued by this pay-per-view, because everyone was just hoping, praying the WWE would do the right thing, and amazingly they did. And CM Punk won, and the place went batshit crazy. And then and the end was booked, I thought, excellent. Say what you will about WWE, but when they get it right, they get it fucking right. They had Laurinaitis and Vince McMahon walk out, who they'd introduced earlier, because they were trying to do last-minute negotiations. Vince was calling for the bell, trying to do, Montreal screw job. Sent Laurinaitis to ringside to try to get the bell wrong. Cena stopped him, clotheslined him, told Vince that no, he wanted to win this the right way. He wanted to do it the right way. He could win it by himself. Went back into the ring. When he went back in the ring, GTS 1, 2, 3. That was it. Freaking Vince goes, calls down Del Rio. Del Rio comes out. Bell never rings because they made sure to announce this, but he gets high kicked in the head, Crow Cop style, and just like when he got kicked in the head with Crow Cop, down he goes and was out. And CM Punk takes the belt, looks around, realizes the bell hasn't rung, scoots out of the ring, goes into the crowd, gives Vince a kiss goodbye, and blows him a kiss goodbye, and takes off through the crowd, and is the champion, and the belt leaves, and oh my God, was this awesome! This was wrestling storytelling, amazing, amazing. This match, if somebody can think of a better John Cena match than this, please tell me, because I can't think of one. This was amazing. This was just, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh my God, because I was emotionally invested in this. This was amazing. They did a great, great job. The ending was very well done. This is what the WWE can do when they want to do it. When they go, you know what, we got to do something different. Maybe finally Vince got backed up into that corner long enough where he came out swinging like he did back in the 90s. I don't know, but this was fucking amazing. We'll have to see what they do to follow it up. As I said on that last video I did, none of it mattered until we got to the pay-per-view and we saw what they did at the pay-per-view. Holy shit. All I gotta say is we'll see tomorrow. We'll see what they do to follow it up. Just an amazing, amazing, amazing night. That's all I can say. As I said, I thought only, Mark Henry and Big Show was, and that match was more to put Mark Henry over, and Kelly and Brie Bella, which was just basically a match anyways, it was probably meant to be, but, other than those two, this was awesome. I mean, literally, if you probably wouldn't have gotten the shit finish, you'd have 3 4-star matches on a 3-hour pay-per-view. Holy shit. Holy shit. And I mean, just amazing, amazing stuff. If you didn't like this pay-per-view, there is something fucking wrong with you, and you need to stop watching wrestling. That's all I gotta say, because this is about as good as it can get. And I will freely tell you, CM Punk and John Cena said, oh, Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, on you guys. I mean, because this match might not have been as technically as good as that, but this had all the drama that match had, and that match had drama. This had like that drama and then some, and even if you had just gone out and just let them do their thing, I still think even without all that drama, they went out there and had a pretty damn good match. And then when you add the drama to it, fuck, this was fuck is what this was. Just amazing, amazing stuff. One of the best WWE pay-per-views I can remember in a long time. I cannot remember a pay-per-view that was this good. I really can't. I'd have to go back and look. I'm sure there's one, and I'm just not thinking of it. But the thing is, this wasn't just a great pay-per-view. This was a memorably great pay-per-view. I'd imagine that they've had pay-per-views out there that were great, but they probably weren't memorably great. This is a pay-per-view that people are going to be talking about for years and years and years to come because of the main event. You had a legit match of the year contender, and it's not like the other matches on here weren't crap. You had 2 other great matches, another really, really good match, and then you had 2 crappy matches. So, yeah, this was the real fucking deal. So, yeah, I've rambled about this enough. So, with that, I'm out. You guys have a good one. You didn't order the pay-per-view, give the WWE your money, because they deserve it. They deserve it in a big, giant way. Give them their money. With that, I'm out. Have a good one. Later.